10 years ago, the 2016 Cavaliers pulled off one of the most impossible championships in NBA history. They came back from 3-1 against a 73-win Warriors team, delivered Cleveland its first title in more than 50 years, and turned one roster into local mythology. Now that team is scattered everywhere. And that's what makes the reunion photos feel strange, because when pieces of that 2016 group get back together, it doesn't just look like a celebration. It looks like proof of how much time has passed. LeBron James is still the center of it all. Even now, he's somehow still active, still relevant, still the first face people look for when those old Cavs memories come back. Kevin Love is there too, and 10 years later, he feels less like a third option and more like one of the emotional symbols of that title run. Then you get to the rest of the roster. Tristan Thompson still feels tied to that team's identity. Channing Frye and Richard Jefferson have basically aged into basketball's version of retired uncles. Still around the game, still part of the chemistry, but now living more in media, podcasts, and nostalgia than in actual NBA minutes. J.R. Smith is still J.R. Smith, which somehow feels like the only possible outcome. And that's really the point. The 2016 Cavs were never remembered because they felt clean or inevitable. They're remembered because they felt alive. Every personality on that team seemed to pull in a different direction. And somehow it all held together long enough to survive the biggest stage Cleveland had ever seen. Which is why the biggest detail from the reunion wasn't who showed up, it was who didn't. Kyrie Irving's absence hangs over all of it, because you can't tell the story of the 2016 Cavs without Kyrie. He hit the biggest shot in franchise history. He was the closer, the release valve, the co-star who made LeBron's burden survivable. And yet 10 years later, when the old group reconnects, the most unforgettable shot maker on the roster is the missing piece in the photo. That's what makes this team different from a normal "where are they now" story. The 2016 Cavs don't feel like a closed chapter. They feel like a memory that never fully settled down. LeBron is still playing. Love is still tied to the emotional core of the title. JR and Kyrie is still somehow both central to the story and slightly outside of it. 10 years later, the roster is scattered across different lives, careers, and versions of basketball history. But in Cleveland, they'll always be remembered the same way. The one team that actually did it.